What's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 25 of Contemplations Austin West. Also, 25 days in a row of this 40-day devotional. Wow, I just started this thing quick. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about right now. Let's start with a parable. Maybe this is a story. What is a parable? I don't know. I was at breakfast with a new homie this morning. Shout out Connor. Ghost Pipe is his artist name. His music is epic. Y'all give him a follow, give him a shout. And he told me this story about Gandhi. And Gandhi was at a train station and surrounded by people and reporters and people just trying to get his time and ask him a question and whatever it is. And in trying to navigate through the crowd and just get onto the train, he ended up catching one of the reporter's questions. And the reporter asked, "What would you tell the world is your message? Or what is your message to the world?" And he said, "Let my life be my message." That one's deep. A lot of meaning to that one. Maybe that's what I want to explore right now. If somebody were watching, you know what? Actually, I'm not even going to pull up the spreadsheet. Somebody asked a question. If somebody was watching the movie of me, what would they say? What would they watch? And I think this contemplation is going to be in line with that. And maybe not what the movie's showing right now, but maybe more so of what would I want it to be? What am I thinking in this realm? And this is just something good for all of us to contemplate. I talk about desire enough of what do we want in this life, getting so abundantly clear, which I need to get clear on that. I'm clear about who I am and who I want to be. I'm clear about my woman and my relationship, my family, and I'm not clear on the way I serve, which is so fascinating with the Colosseum and Entheos and all these incredible things that are happening. I realized that I haven't sat down and gotten really clear and what does my life look like inside of these? How do I serve? How much time do I spend? And so desire is really beautiful because it's very forward thinking. It's like, okay, what am I manifesting in this life from worth and value? Also alive for me. But I think it's a really fascinating thought experiment to explore. If our life is our message to the world, what is your message portraying right now? If your life is a message to the world, what is it portraying right now? How intentional are you living? I'll ask, I don't like the yous and needs and shoulds. Hopefully that's not coming off in this way. These are just exploratory things that I'm also asking myself, how intentional am I living right now? How surrendered am I right now? How conscious am I of all my choices? How discerning am I about all things in my life? About what I watch, about what I listen to, about the communities I'm part of, about the people I choose to be led by, about the people I pedestalize, about the information I let into my field, about self-trust. How discerning am I being? I've talked about this a few times, but I keep feeling myself distant, so I'm going to bring it up again because I think there's something here for me to explore out loud, which is the whole point of this podcast. And maybe there's something in this for all of us. But social media, these things have captured our attention. They've sucked us dry of dopamine, and so much of what we absorb through these platforms literally becomes our perspective of life. Why do you think there's so much division? We get sucked into these echo chambers. I saw something about the World Cup. I don't follow sports anymore. I used to be the most obsessed sports fan. 10 straight hours a day watching football on Sundays, 6 to 12 fantasy football leagues every year. I was in 6 different leagues for 14 plus years. I mean, spending $1,000 on buying fees. It was wild. I don't watch any sports anymore. I think it's all the circus. It's not to say it's bad. I just got better things to do with my time. Where was I going with that? Social media. I saw somebody that came here from Germany from the World Cup, and he was afraid to come to America because based on social media, he thought that we're all murderers and everybody hates each other, and no one's going to like him, or people are going to beat him up on the street, blah 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 blah. And he gets here and he's like, "This is the most loving people I've ever met." He's like, "Everything I've seen on social media and in the media is a lie." He was crying on this interview because he didn't want to go home. He's like, "I've had so much fun. Everyone's so inviting. I couldn't get a taxi, and a random stranger gave me a ride home from the stadium and then bought me dinner. It's like the American way. Let's go." But when we get on these platforms, whether you like to know it or not, we are put into an echo chamber of our own belief systems, because the way the human mind works is we're constantly looking for ways to confirm our beliefs. So we get on these platforms and we're just mirrored back to ourselves. Your algorithm is you. Think about how wild this is for a second. Your everything you follow, your algorithm is literally like, take my whole perspective of everything is a mirror. Everything's reflecting me back to me at all times and teach myself about myself in this experience of life. Your algorithm is the ultimate expression of that. If you're a man, this might be confronting for some men. Yeah, let's get into it. I'm feeling spicy today. I didn't feel like doing this, and now I'm on a roll. I'm so happy to be doing this right now. These last few podcasts have been hard. Yeah. If you're a man, I urge you to pay attention to what you're following on social media. If you are a married man, are you following women just because you think they're hot? That's something to think about. Me, as a single man, found myself following women just because they were good looking. Why? There's no value in that for me. That's actually leakiness. I'm leaking the intention of my sexual energy directed at a woman on a screen. For what purpose? And if you're a married man, if you're in a relationship, if you're seeking partnership, are you following women just because they look good? Like, can you have that radically of an honest conversation with yourself? It's something to look at. It's like, how intentional are we being with every single part of our lives? With these platforms? Are you following people because you disagree with them, because it triggers some reaction in you and you're just, oh, I'm a hater, but I'm going to follow? Notice those things. Are you allowing things that don't give you value, that don't lift you up, that don't feel heart-centered, that evoke negative or fear-based emotions, that create separations, messages that are rooted in judgment or you should? Are you giving your discernment and power and trust of self away to the perspective of another person, just paying such close attention? And so when we talk about what is our story of life telling ourselves, while you're living your life, what is it telling you about yourself? What are these algorithms telling you about yourself, about the frequency that you live in? And then how do you bring that into the world? Anything that we watch, we create more of. Anything that I like, I create more of. Anything I follow, I create more of. What are you creating more of in this life? Fast forward 50 years. There's a really cool thought experiment to have where you have a cup of coffee with yourself at 70 years old. What is that version of yourself? What would he tell you or she tell you right now? Man, you know that's not good for you. Why are you still doing that? You know that's not in the highest and best for your relationship. You know that's a boyish or a girlish behavior that is not the embodiment of the man or the woman or the divine feminine or divine masculine, whatever words y'all want to use. I'm here for all of it. I use them all. Are you embodying the actuality of who you desire to become? What is your life telling you about yourself? What is your life telling the world about you? What do your friends tell you about yourself? Do they lift you up? Do they gossip? Would they do anything for you? Do they show up for you? Do they listen? Sorry to my friends when I don't listen as intently as I desire to. Something I'm working on. Yeah, this one's deep. The exploration of self is deep. And when we look at it from the lens of like, what would the world see in my message of what my life is reflecting? What do I spend my money on? You know, we're going through this thing right now where we're increasing the monthly cost of our community. There's so much value in it. 14 to 16 calls with facilitators. That one call alone would be 3 to 5x what the monthly cost of the whole community is. It's wild. It's so valuable. And I know for some people that's going to be a challenge. And that's the discernment that I've had to walk. And we're gonna be increasing it over the next year, every 3 to 4 months, to really start standing in what we offer. Because holy shit, dude, the people I have, facilitators in the community, they're incredible. They've changed my life, and I'm bringing them in to change yours too, hopefully. And it's in that, it's like, okay, if my personal healing and growth is not my number one priority in my entire life. Number one priority in my entire life, because my healing is the healing of my family, is the healing of my parents, of my ancestors, of future generations. It's the healing of the planet. It's the healing of the world. It's the healing of the cosmos. My growth and evolution is the healing of all beings through all of time, literally at a DNA level, at a frequency level. And then the more I heal, the more I am of service to the world. That's healing. Then I bring more community together. Like the process of going within, of doing the work on ourselves, putting money forth towards that, it's the greatest investment I've ever spent. I have spent tens of thousands of dollars on coaches. Pretty wild to think about. I think I've worked with like 14 different coaches over the last 8 years. I did this math the other day and I already forgot. Retreats. I've done two, 3 dozen retreats. I've done dozens of one-on-one ceremonies with teachers, like tens of thousands of dollars on myself. And so when people look out like, oh, you're doing this, it's so great. How did you? It's like, I worked on myself. The rest took care of itself. There's no better money spent. Like, look at that part of your life. Where are you spending your money? What are you voting your dollar on? What food systems are you propping up with how you spend your money? What companies are you propping up with how you spend your money? Does your money go to supporting agriculture that's destroying the world? Pesticides, herbicides. Is it going to toxic products that are causing cancer in people? Is it going to corporations that don't even pay a living wage? I struggle every time I use Amazon. I try to use it so limited. I might order 2 items a month on there now. I try to go local, find a local shop. Half my kitchen I bought on Etsy. Like, people pouring their love and making these things by hand. It's like being so intentional with everything. Like, what does your life reflect as your message to the world? And if money is spent, yeah. And I hope nobody takes this wrong. There's no judgment in this. It's just a way to reflect. Like, what am I valuing as the most important thing in my life? My freedom, my sovereignty, my healing, my service? Or a new shirt that costs just as much as an entire community for a month? I want that shirt because it makes me feel something, because materialism does this. Can you just admit that to yourself? The path to freedom is truth. Not judgment, shame, and guilt. Truth. Yep, I'm numbing right now. I choose to do that. Oh, I don't care if you numb. Just do it consciously. Because if you do everything consciously enough, you'll get tired of your own shit. What does your money say about your message to the world about your life? Where are you spending it? Yeah, that was the biggest download for me. And it's so ironic that I'm going through this worth and value thing about standing in my value and what I charge. It's so ironic how much money I have spent on my own journey. And then it's like I can't receive that. Which is also ironic because in my one-on-one containers, like I'm not cheap to work with one-on-one. That's why I only have 5 one-on-one clients at a time. I'm actually going to probably drop that down to 4 very, very soon. Actually, I have a couple people finishing up. I'm going to drop down to 4. It's not cheap. And the most I've paid for a coach is $1,100 a session. Yeah. Life-changing. Because it confronted so many of my stories, and it showed me that I am the most valuable investment in my life. Not the clothes I wear, not the car I drive, not where I live, not getting my hair done, or... Yeah, what are the frivolous things that I used to spend money on? Wallets and watches and... Yeah. It's wild. I used to spend my money on a whole bunch of stuff that didn't make me actually more in alignment of what I want my message to the world to be. So maybe that's what Gandhi was teaching us after all. Our life is our message to the world. If you never spoke a word again, what would your message of your life reflect to the world? If you couldn't speak, if you couldn't explain your message, what would your life reflect? Do you say hi to the neighbors? When you're checking out at the grocery store, do you read the person's name tag and treat them like a human? There's been so many times I leave the grocery store and I realize, I look back, I'm like, holy fuck, I never even looked that person in the eyes. Like, how sad. How sad. I was at Home Depot checking out one day, and this guy made a comment about Cosmo. And we sparked up a little conversation, and I just said, it was really great talking to you. I can't remember his name. It was probably a year ago. And I said his name on his name tag. And he's an older guy, that old enough to, you shouldn't be working at that age. And he said, wow, thanks for making me feel human. I don't know if anyone's called me by my name since I started here. It's like, what the fuck are we doing? This is how I want to live my life, with this level of intention. Because this level of intention is what gives root to breed the frequencies we want to live in. It's what breeds integrity, connection, love, belonging. This is my prayer for myself, to live in this level of intention. That nothing goes by in my life that I'm not making a conscious choice about or in. And I pray that is where we all meet ourselves. That is my prayer for the world. That is my prayer for everybody who is still hanging in here with me. 25 days in, I've noticed my views drop as this thing's gone on, and I've gone through my own process on that. That's not what it's about, though. I'm quickly coming to realize, like, who gives a fuck, man? If I can change a dozen lives and one of those dozen people can change a dozen, one of those dozen change a billion, epic. And even if not, epic. A big lesson in that for me throughout this process. Can I just do this because I love it? Can I do this because I value my own thought process? I value my own teachings. I value what I've been through in this life. I've been through so much shit. I actually had a ping this morning to do a podcast on my story because I've always told it, and again, this Instagram way. Clippy or on a podcast where it needs to be primed and prepped. I've never really gone all in. And I think my blessing in this life and why I can relate to so many people is, you name it, I've gone through it. Sexual trauma, drugs, pharmaceuticals, alcohol, steroids, video games, heartbreak, divorce. Like you name that, broken bones, mass surgeries, getting fired, being buried in debt, making a fuck ton of money. Like, you name the thing, I've been there, and it's been my greatest gift. Is because, like, my soul was like, we tried all the things. None of it's gonna work. You gotta come back home to the self. And what I've learned in that journey is just, one, how benevolent everything is. It's all bringing us home to the self. And 2, the requirement of intention. That feels complete. Thanks for listening, y'all. Love you so much. Really, truly, thank you for all of those that are in this thing with me. All my support, all my brothers, my family, my friends, the people liking, subscribing, and following along on this, the people who choose to follow my path on Instagram, on YouTube, the strangers I get to meet. Like, I'm so grateful for this life. Even when I'm in it, I'm in something right now that I have stopped trying to explain because words don't describe whatever is happening to me. And I'm just in awe. I'm so grateful for this life. Well, all right, y'all. I'll see you back here tomorrow for episode 26. Be blessed.